When a representative starts out using a script, it's going to sound stilted. It's going to sound phony. It's not going to sound real. And that's because they haven't made it themselves. They haven't internalized it. What sales reps need to do is practice. One of the things we'll talk about at the end of this section are things to do to improve the cold calling process, and one of which is to practice no less than 3 hours. The most interesting statistic I can give you as a manager is that 80% of sales representatives will actually give up when they first hear the first reaction from a person when they're cold calling. That is to say, when somebody says, "I'm not interested," they will hang up. And the reason they hang up is because they've pre-qualified in their minds that the person has no interest in their product. Yet, the reason they called the person was they're a buyer of that particular product, or else they wouldn't have called in the first place. But they don't connect the dots. They don't understand how to turn it around properly. When a sales rep gets a response on a cold call, the objective is to turn that response around into the appointment. But we don't really turn it around. What we actually do is eliminate the first response so it goes into a second response. The second response is really the one that we work with. It's called a ledge. So that's how we do it. We really don't turn it around. Maybe the most important lesson that you can learn in managing a sales force is the concept of a ledge, L-E-D-G-E. What happens is when the representative gets an initial response from the person that's calling, and if he handles that properly, inevitably, it will jump into another conversation. They'll say something else. They'll give another reason why they're not going to buy. So, for example, if the representative called up and the person says, "I'm not interested," and the representative properly says, "Well, a lot of people tell me the same thing before they get a chance to see the benefits of working with us," the conversation will shift into another response. It's a second response. Now, what we've talked about is that if you ask a question, a story will emerge. So if the representative actually says, "Well, I'm just curious, how are you doing that now?" or "Why are you doing that now?" or "Have you ever bought from us before?" the conversation enlarges and it creates a ledge, a stepping stone, a place to put your foot on to say, "Here's why we should get together, because of this reason, what you just said to me." So, for example, if the person says, "Well, we're really not interested," other people said the same thing before they get a chance to see the benefits, and now the person says, "Well, we don't have a budget." "Well, I'm just curious, have you ever met with our company before?" "Well, no, we haven't." And the person expands on that because they'll tell a story. It's then that the representative says, "Well, based upon what you just told me, I think we should get together." The people who have managed to learn the ledge properly understand that everything is going to be turned around right there, and they can manage that effectively because they're creating that conversation.